Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles and cousins, of course, and nanas and papas, or if you prefer, grandmothers and grandfathers, and baseball fans everywhere. Welcome to this edition of the Valley Baseball League video podcast. Hello, everyone. My name is Graham Knight, and on behalf of the Valley Baseball Leagues and every team in this league, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this, the fourth edition of Where Are They Now and What Are They Doing There? Before I get there, I want to do a couple quick programming notes. We are at the very front of our 2020 rewind season. That's not the 2020 season. That's the 2020 perfect vision, or 2020 hindsight's perfect. We're taking a look back at the 2019 season. We'll be at Game 4 on Tuesday of this week, but since Monday is traditionally a day off in the Valley Baseball League, we're going to start to bring you these video podcasts every Monday. And boy, do we have a lot of fun in store for you. Not only will we be bringing you the Where Are They Nows and What Are They Doing There's, we'll be taking a look at the inside the press box of every one of the teams in our organization. You'll get a chance to meet the voices behind the play-by-play action that you'll be enjoying this season and have enjoyed in all the past seasons. You're going to meet the people that are behind the PA announcers and running the scorekeeping and doing all that kind of stuff. So look forward to one of these video podcasts every Monday throughout the rest of our normal season. Also on Father's Day, we're going to have a special look at one of the teams in our league that's run by a father-son duo. So that's some of the excitement we have in store for you. But hey, hopefully you're enjoying this. If you've got any thoughts or any comments, we welcome them always, always, always. This is a two-way conversation. We want to hear from you. You can reach us at vbleague@isomermedia.com. That's vbleague@isomermedia.com. All right, before we introduce our mystery player of the day in this fourth episode of Where Are They Now and What Are They Doing There, I just want to catch you guys up. First and foremost, you heard Joe and I say it when we interviewed Bobby Humphrey, the scout now working for the Phillies. We said every time John's been on this podcast, he's had his Phillies jersey on. John, show everybody what you're wearing today.
The old powder blue.
Yep. Yeah, baby. True Phillies fan. Hey, just for you Phillies fans, Bobby Humphrey, we didn't get to all the stuff we wanted to talk to him about. We will have him back, and we will be able to connect our Philly fan, John Leonard, with our associate scout, Bobby Humphrey. Look forward to that in the not-too-distant future. All right, guys. It's time to get into Where Are They Now and What Are They Doing There? Before we introduce this mystery player, John, set up the backstory for who this guy is and tell everybody a little bit about him.
Well, this young man went to college back in 2011, and as a freshman for Presbyterian, hit 425, 492, 717, and then heads to the Valley that summer for the inaugural season of the Strasburg Express. So I believe he was 19 years old at the time, comes into the Valley and just carries on the success in the Valley. He hit 420, 490, 638 in 174 at-bats, more walks than strikeouts, and was named the MVP of the league that summer in the Strasburg Express's first season in the Valley. Quite a combination of accomplishments there, both in college and in the Valley.
Yeah, now before we introduce him, this is Joe's cue. This is about the point where Joe slaps his head and says something like, "Why wasn't this guy drafted?"
Why wasn't this guy drafted?
Yeah, see, right on cue, just like you'd expect it. I mean, Joe, react to those stats for me. When you hear those numbers, what's your thought?
It's jaw-dropping. It's mind-numbing. It's like, obviously MVP worthy, and honestly, when we talked to Bobby, the Philly scout, it's hard. He doesn't know every player that he ever watched, so it's hard for him to give a direct answer, of course. But I still don't get it. Right? I don't know.
Well, let me just give you a number. Unless I'm mistaken, I think Michael Wolanski hit 401.
Yeah.
Right. So this is 19 percentage points better than Michael. John, this is your moment, man. Oh, hey, hold on. I almost screwed up, guys. We didn't mention this is an all-decade player. He's a first-team all-decade player. Anything you want to add about that before we introduce this mystery player?
Yeah, I mean, I named this player first team all decade at catcher. So, in my opinion, in those last 10 years, from 2010 to 2019, he was the best catcher in the Valley League,
All right, John,
in
you
my
do.
opinion.
All
And
right,
that's
dude.
saying something
Yeah.
because we had Wes Clark in there.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. Well, John, do the honor. So please introduce our fourth edition of the Valley Baseball Leagues. Where are they now and what are they doing here? John Leonard, take it away.
Oh, it's Brad Zebedis.
Brad Zebedis, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, well, so we got to hit you with the $100 million question. Where are you now and what are you doing there?
Right now, I'm in Canton, Ohio, a little suburb outside of Cleveland. I went to law school up here after I graduated from Presbyterian College. Graduated from law school, took the bar exam, and now I'm in my third year of law, practicing law up here in labor and employment. Got married last November, so I got a lovely wife now, and we just bought a house. So, yeah, it's been good, and starting my legal career.
Wow, congratulations. I just want to, really, congratulations on,
Thank you.
Not easy to get through law school, and congratulations on the marriage and all of that. When we were setting up this conversation, one of the things you said to me was, you said, yeah, that was a fun summer. Take us back to before that summer and talk to us about you had an amazing college year that year. Talk to us about that a little bit. Take us, how'd you end up in the Valley and what was so fun about it?
Yeah, as soon as I got on campus as a freshman at Presbyterian College, as soon as I got into the office, I wasn't on campus a month or so, and our assistant coach Chris Edwards called me into his office and said, "Hey, you're going to the Valley League this summer." It was, I didn't know anything about the Valley League. He just told me that it was a really good summer league, and that he had me lined up. And that I was going to play for Strasburg in their inaugural season. So I knew, in the early fall that I was going to be playing in the Valley League that summer. And then it was just, focus on my freshman season and PC and then onto the Valley after that. But yeah, that freshman year, it was a fun baseball year all the way around. It was just, it was a great year. And, as far as the Valley was concerned, it was a really, really fun summer. We had a good group of guys, and to be the first season, I think that was really special. Just for the community. We always had good support, good fan support. Not just in Strasburg, but in the surrounding areas too. They traveled well, and so it was a fun summer, a good group of guys, and it was fun to be a part of the first season in Strasburg.
And Brad, now where are you from originally? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Rock Hill, South Carolina, so just outside of Charlotte.
All right, so Virginia wasn't foreign territory for you when you got here to Strasburg, but when you came to Strasburg, which is a beautiful little town in the Valley, what was your first impression?
Like you said, it was a small little town in the Valley, but my college that I went to was also a small little town in Clinton, South Carolina, a place that no one's ever heard of. So, I was kind of used to the small town vibe, and so that was my first impression was driving through the town. And I just spent a whole season playing where a town might only have 2 or 3 traffic lights. So I like the town, and I love my host family, and and the community. So it was a fun experience.
Now, you were John was going through your stats before we introduced you. In your freshman year at Presbyterian, what was the number 425 or something, 428 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And you come to the Valley and you hit 420 in that season. What were you drinking? What were you eating for breakfast that year? What was going on? How were you crushing the ball?
Yeah, that was it was a fun year. It was just one of those years. I think it was good that being a freshman, not a lot of scouting reports out there on you. So obviously guys did learn as the years went on, and hitting gets a lot tougher after that. But it was just a good year. I didn't try to put too much pressure on myself. I was just I was a freshman coming in, just trying to show people that I could play ball. And I was fortunate enough to have the season that I did.
Were you surprised at all about being named MVP at the end of the year? Like, what did that mean to you?
That was really special. I was a little surprised. I mean, I knew I had a great season, but on the flip side of things, the Express in their first year, we didn't exactly light it up in the win column. So we had some growing pains and had a tough season, and so I was a little surprised that I was named the MVP. But as I said, it was a tremendous honor, and I was very humbled by it.
The person that probably came in second, although I don't know, I never saw the voting results, but the person who probably came in second behind you is Mac Williamson, who has gone on to a major league career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got to know Mac real well. We competed in the home run derbies together in the All-Star. He beat me in the Valley League All-Star game. I think it was held at Haymarket, and then we went down and played the Cal Ripken team for the All-Star weekend, and I ended up beating him down there. So we split the home run derby for the All-Star weekend.
Nice. Do you stay in touch with Mac at all?
I don't stay in touch with Mac. No, there's a handful of guys I stay in touch with from my team, from the Express, but no other guys I think from that league.
Mm-hmm.
So Brad, you said it was a great surprise to be named MVP of that season. How does it feel to be named the best catcher the Valley Baseball League saw in an entire decade?
Yeah, that was a tremendous honor. Excuse me. I mean, 10 years of baseball, a lot of great players have come through that league. Valley is one of the, premier leagues in the country. Everybody that follows baseball knows that it's one of the top summer leagues in the country. So, they've had plenty of great ball players and catchers that have come through that league. So, to be named the all-decade team as a hitter and as a catcher was a tremendous honor. And I know that there could have been 10 other guys that could have had that nomination and honor as well. So it was a humbling experience, and it was definitely something that was a tremendous honor to be named that.
Wow. Well, it's great to have you join us. I got to ask you the quick wood bat question before we get into the pro question. Aaron Summers likes to ask about the transition to the wood bat. I'm guessing you were aluminum at school, but I don't know. What were you using at school before you came to the Valley?
We were aluminum. Yep. We swung, my freshman year we swung DeMarini. So we were aluminum DeMarini bats.
And then it doesn't seem like you had any trouble transitioning at all. I mean, did you experience any difference? I mean,
I actually prefer wood bat. I like wood bat better. I think it makes you focus more on your craft, and makes you, you can get away with a lot of stuff with aluminum bat, and you can be taking batting practice and hitting balls to the gap that are with an aluminum that are flyouts with a wood bat. So I think aluminum or a wood bat really makes you concentrate and focus on hitting and really getting your hands to where they need to be and really making good contact with the baseball. So, I prefer wood bat. I think, with the wood bat will just make you a better ball player.
Yeah, and you're not walking around with a case with a piece of hickory in it that's got Wonder Kid burned into it, are you?
No. I used the DeMarinis that were provided from Strasburg was the ones I used all summer. I didn't have my own wood bat. I didn't bring my own wood bat. I just used the team supplied ones.
All right, all you baseball fans out there, players, I'm sorry, I'm talking to the players here. Go out and get the 2011 DeMarini wood bat.
Yeah.
You're sure to have some fun with it. All right, seriously, we've got to ask you the pro question, but John Leonard, help me set this up. I think you said something in a past podcast that, is it most players, all players that come into this league want to go pro? I want to quote you exactly because you're here and you'll tear me up if I don't get it right. What is that?
Never, Graham. No. I mean, I would say that every player that I've talked to in the Valley League has had that dream of going on to play pro ball. And it doesn't matter where they come from, what school, what ability they have at the moment. Everybody has that dream. And I'm talking about myself here too. I played D3 back in the late 80s. I wanted to play pro ball too. So, Brad, I guess we turn this to you. Did you have that aspiration as well?
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I think everybody that plays, college ball anywhere has that dream and that aspiration. And that was no different for me. I had the same dream and wanting that as well in my college career.
Well, take us to that time, Brad, after the Valley League. Talk to us about, I'm guessing you tried to go pro. Take us through that whole that transition.
Sure. So I had my opportunity. I did. After my junior year, and throughout my junior season, I was in, contact with a couple of different teams that were, definitely showing interest. And junior year draft day rolls around in the summer, and I was on the phone with the teams. And unfortunately, as things go, it just, it came down to not being able to agree on, what's it worth to leave college early. And we couldn't agree on that. And they ended up going a different direction, which, is understandable. And then I returned back to PC my senior year, had another good senior season. And, in my senior year, I also developed an interest in the law, and ended up applying and getting into law school. And, senior year rolls around and that season ends. And, I wasn't drafted as a senior, but I had the opportunity to sign as a free agent if, that opportunity was presented to me. But I just took a step back and, thought, just kind of weighed the pros and cons of each of, getting into law school and starting a law career, and versus, trying to make it in professional baseball as a free agent, senior year graduate signee. And I chose the former. And, people ask me, do you regret it? And, I tell them I only think about playing baseball every single day. So other than that, but, I can't say I totally, I don't regret it. It was a decision that I made, and, I'm happy with my decision, and, it's led to, a good law career. I would never met my wife. And so, I can't regret it too much. But, it's definitely something I think about all the time.
Yeah, well, you raise a really good question. What's it worth to leave school? The number, and I'm going to read you something from the same story in a few minutes, because I want to talk major league first and then minor leagues. Minor league players are, one of the numbers, making around $1,150 a month, which is below minimum wage. So, choice of law school, lawyer salary versus below minimum wage to play a game that you love. That's a tough choice. That's a tough choice. Gentlemen, anything you want to weigh in?
Well, I feel better. I'm not angry at every scout in Major League Baseball now.
Yeah, Joe can hold a grudge. But
it's a dangerous question sometimes to ask former players, because I know sometimes there is regret. I had some too for not maybe chasing down as many leads as what I maybe could have at the time. But Brad, if Brad had signed as a free agent after his senior year, like, he might have been offered $5,000, maybe. Maybe would have been closer to $1,000, and then you're thrown into a difficult situation, away from home, with an uphill battle from there. So, yeah, there may be some regrets, but it would have been a tough row to hoe as well, I think, to use a Southern cliche, I guess.
Well, yeah, sometime we're going to have to dig into the realities of, just what it costs for the love of the game.
Hey, baseball fans, Erin Summers here. I hate to interrupt the conversation, but the Valley Baseball League would like to take a few moments to recognize our sponsors. We'd first like to thank New York Times best-selling historical romance author and VBL Uber sponsor Grace Burrows. For 3 years now, she has helped make our live streams possible. Be sure to visit graceburrows.com. That's Grace, BURROWES.com, to say thank you. And please note that Grace is wishing everyone in the VBL family the best of happily ever afters. We'd like to thank the Miller Auto Group, proud sponsor of the Northern Division. Although car buying may not be a necessity at the time, the Miller Auto Group would like you to know that they are here for you whenever you are in need. If a new or used vehicle is not the priority, but service is, feel free to schedule an appointment online at your convenience. Visit them at drivemiller.com. That's drivemiller.com to find the sales, service, or parts you need. We'd also like to thank 47, sponsor of the official on-field cap of the Valley Baseball League. Shop your favorite headwear and apparel styles at 47brand.com. They also make official Major League stuff too. So if you're missing your favorite MLB team right now, just think 47brand.com. We'd like to thank Stephen Toyota in Harrisonburg, proud sponsor of the Valley Baseball League Southern Division. Save time when shopping for your new Toyota, Toyota Certified Used, and Stevens Select vehicle when you start your deal online with Stevens Toyota's online shopper system. Visit us today at StephenToyota.com. That's StephenToyota.com. We'd also like to thank Rawlings, maker of the official baseball of the Valley League and Major League Baseball. And finally, we'd like to thank Signs USA for providing awards and banners to the league. When you need a sign, award, or banner, thank Signs USA. SignsUSVA.com. All right, baseball fans, now that we've paid tribute to the sponsors that make what we do at the Valley League possible, it's time to get back to the conversation.
Hey, since we only have so much time here, let's jump into major leagues because for all of you who don't know, Jay Neal, who started the Strasburg Express back in 2011, and Brad, I don't know how much you follow in the Strasburg Express. I'm guessing probably some. They now have 2 championship rings that they're sporting. They came close to getting a third.
Yeah, so, I have been following that. My best friend from college, he was on the team as well. Chad White, he was a relief pitcher for Strasburg, and we like to talk to each other and joke that we laid the groundwork and we blazed the trail for those guys to go through and win those championships. But yeah, we have been following them. I've been following them, and they've had some really good seasons here lately.
They're a good organization from top to bottom. Yep.
Yeah, they really are. It's a great community there. Hey, so we want to take advantage of your law career. And as a labor attorney, would you mind kind of giving us your opinion on kind of the major leagues trying to get something started maybe by July 1 and, what the issues might be between players and owners?
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a legal opinion, but in my line of work, we work with labor unions. That's what we do, and we are we're involved in contract negotiations, and we see collective bargaining agreements, and sides not being able to come to an agreement as it relates to money. So I deal with that on a daily basis with the unions that we represent. So when I look at the situation, I can definitely see both sides of the coin. I can take a step back and say, okay, I understand from the player's perspective that this is their job and this is, their means of living, and, they want to be compensated for, the contracts that they sign that were agreed to when they signed that big 7-year, $100 million deal that they made with that team. On the flip side, though, I can also see from the owner's perspective and the organization's perspective saying, hey, how do we pay you your full salary if you're only going to play half the season? So, I think it's going to take a lot of negotiating and a lot of movement from both sides. I was looking at it this morning, and they are very far apart. So, I don't know if they're going to be able to come to an agreement by July 1. That from a legal perspective, that's my standpoint. But from a fan and just somebody that loves the game of baseball, I'm hoping that they can work it out because, I think now more than ever, we just need sports in our lives and we need baseball to come back. So, I hope they can work it out, and I hope everybody can, understand that we're in unprecedented times right now. No one's ever had to deal with something like this. So, you just hope that both sides can take that into consideration and see if we can get a deal done and get guys back out there playing.
Right.
Brad, there's something that's always bothered me, and I don't know if it's how fair it is. And I'd like to ask you, the major league, the owners don't have to open their books. So we don't know what the financial situation is for them. Ever since baseball began, they have done an incredible job at turning the media and the casual fan against the player. What, in your opinion, what role? Like I'm very skeptical about owners, about billionaires saying, "I would lose too much money this year," and therefore the players have to take huge pay cuts. What's your opinion? What's your thought on that? Like, I really wish we could open those books and see the true story.
Yeah, I agree, because I think I agree with you that those books are probably they're a lot bigger, and they're a lot well off than they lead on to be. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that would be something that would definitely facilitate the discussion. I know that the Players Union has made a request to see those financial documents, to basically say, hey, you know, we get your proposal, but we need you to substantiate it and show as to why that's the proposal that you're making. You know, I know that request has been made. Whether or not Major League Baseball and the owners and organizations will turn over those documents is another question. But I agree. I think, I mean, in times like these, you know, there is no playbook and there is no rule book as to what you need to do to try to get it resolved. So if this one time we can open the books and see what we can and cannot do, yeah, I'd be all for that as well.
Yeah, well, just one stealing a page from somebody else's playbook. I've got a theater background and spend a fair bit of time working with community theaters. And one of the things I was surprised to find is how the Actors Union in New York had reached a new agreement almost immediately with the theater owners to get those guys through the pandemic. It's almost like I originally thought, oh my goodness, they actually saw this coming and they put it in the original contract. Turns out everything I've found out about is no, as soon as it hit, they renegotiated immediately and got it set up. So at least they're covered, I think, through September in New York. Hey, you guys, Joe, before we go that, any reaction to kind of the owner labor unions trying to reach agreement to bring back the major leagues?
I don't have a reaction. I'm absorbing every bit of this conversation because it's fascinating to me. I don't have opinions or knowledge to impart to be a productive part of the conversation, but I'm loving it.
Yeah, well, show everybody your O's cup because I know you'd love to have the O's back in action here. Yeah, this is
you know, I'm missing baseball too, like Brad said. And as the old joke goes, you know, I was drinking my coffee, sitting at my kitchen window, watching. You know, last I checked, the Blue Jays were ahead of the Cardinals 3-4 in my backyard.
Fighting for worms. Yeah, well,
the other joke is that my backyard is a lot like the AL East. The Orioles have yet to show up.
Ooh. Well, I was just thinking we could get a job being a major league influencer. We got all the baseball swag here. We could put this on Instagram and just influence people by showing them the VBL logo. Buy your VBL shirt now. The Phillies jersey, the Shenandoah Valley. What does the top say, John? I can't see it. I see Virginia. Oh, yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
Love it.
Hey, Brad, so you missing baseball, and, you know, you think about baseball every day. Does baseball play a role in your life anymore? Are you thinking about coaching or volunteering or, you know, hanging out in the valley for the summers and just watching games or what?
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of my life still. And it's definitely something that I, you know, would like to still be involved with. You know, I've been looking at a couple of high school positions that are opening up coaching jobs to try to get started there. But it's tough. I mean, I work long hours. I work, it's tough to say, hey, you know, I've only been here for 3 years, but can I leave at 3:00 every day to go manage a high school baseball team? So definitely still try to be involved as much as I can. And it's something that I think that I'll continue to look at as, you know, as I get a little bit older and, you know, might have that opportunity to, you know, be a coach somewhere and to still be involved in the game. But, yeah, I'm still, you know, very much involved in baseball as much as I can be.
Yeah, well, it's hard starting a legal career. Hey, that's a perfect place to share this thought from Dayton Moore. If you don't know this by now, Dayton Moore is truly one of my personal heroes. He was recently quoted as saying this. He says, "Understand this, minor league players, the players you'll never know about, the players that never get out of rookie ball or high A, those players have as much impact on the growth of our game than 10-year or 15-year veteran players. They have as much opportunity to influence the growth of our game as those individuals who played for a long time because these individuals go back into their communities and they teach the game. They work in academies, are JCO coaches, college coaches, scouts, coaches in pro baseball. They're growing the game constantly because they're so passionate about it. So we felt it was really important not to release one minor league player during this time, a time we needed to stand behind them. One thing I just want to note is that the Kansas City Royals are going to play their minor league are going to pay their minor league players for the entirety of the season. That to me is a real tribute to the organization that the Kansas City Royals and their owner, and a real tribute to the kind of operation Dayton Moore has been known to be part of, whether it was George Mason or the Valley Baseball League or anything else. Clearly a class act. But, one of the things that, Brad, it makes me think is, here's a guy who has these amazing stat lines, gone on to now balance that with a legal career and given your mind behind the plate. And Parker Neal says it best, the craftsmanship of baseball. I can't wait to see how your legal career and your baseball craftsmanship kind of marries at some point in the not too distant career. It might be interesting to see, maybe you're going to be the guy in charge of the union agreements with the MLB in the not too distant future.
Yeah, I mean, if a job opens up like that, I'd be happy to look into that for sure. If I could do legal work in a baseball field, that would be perfect.
We'll tag Donald Fair on the link to the video here.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. John, you get last swings at Brad Zebedis, our all-decade player. Just remember, Brad, that nobody's broken you. Nobody. I mean, you set this and it's held for 10 years. I mean, you said it at the start, so that's amazing. John, what's your last swing at Brad here?
Oh, just thanks for coming on, Brad. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. I've been writing about you for a number of years, and it's great to finally get a chance to talk to you. That's all I've got.
Yeah,
Same here.
Guys. Yeah.
Congratulations, Brad, on your success with your career and your marriage, and hopefully, when you get a chance, come back to the Valley, catch a game with us next summer, and we'll all hang out.
Well, when the Strasburg Express do a Hall of Fame, Brad will be asked back for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Brad, all I'll say is there are many players out there that go around scratching their head like, could I have done it? Could I have done it? Could I have done it? And they're like waiting to hear those words. You were good, kid. There's no question, man. You were good. Really appreciate having you here on the podcast. Anything you want to say before we bid you good luck and farewell?
Just thanks for having me, guys. I enjoyed being on here and meeting everyone and, talking baseball. I haven't been able to do it since it's been, shut down since March. So, no, it was good to be on here. Thanks for having me. And I'll definitely continue to follow the Valley League. It was definitely an important part of my baseball career.
Well, we'd love to have you back. And just remember, you set that bar high. So one of the things that'll be fun to see is to see who comes behind you and can actually top what you did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, we said it before and we'll say it again. We're wishing you all perfect health, and we're wishing you all a speedy return to the baseball diamond. Until next time for the Valley Baseball League, I'm Graham Knight. Look for Game 4 tomorrow night on the Valley Baseball League's YouTube channel. We'll see you then.